Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Carrie, and this is a space where we help people and organizations amplify their impact. Today we are talking about tip 37 from my book, Career Gymnastics, when your peer becomes your manager. So let's get into it. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. This transition can be very weird. One day, this person is your work bestie, and the next day, they are leading your performance review. It is a drastic shift, but it's one that you absolutely can navigate with the right mindset. And we're going to talk about how you can thrive in this position as well. The first thing you can do is accept the shift and be open to learning from this person. Now, look, you can spend your time focusing on why they shouldn't have got the role, or you can spend your time focusing on what you can learn from them. The truth is, you probably could list all the reasons why they shouldn't be your manager. But what if instead you looked at what you could learn from that person? Are they detail oriented? Do they think strategically in ways that you haven't? Are they great at managing up? Instead of you resisting the change, I want you to lean into the opportunity to gain something from their leadership style. Their promotion, it really isn't about you, it's about the organization's needs at the moment. And if you step back, you might realize that there's something valuable to take away from their leadership. I remember I had a peer who then became my manager. And I had some of the same frustrations that you might be having or you've had if this thing has happened to you as well. And initially, I had a ton of questions like why they choose this person? Why wasn't I given the opportunity? And once I spent some time just kind of observing this person, I quickly realized why this person was selected for the role. And I try to condition my mind to say, like, these are some areas that are clearly important to the organization. So maybe I need to pay a little closer attention to the things that the organization also values. So when this opportunity comes up again, I won't be questioning why I was not considered. It is very hard to be introspective sometimes, but it is necessary, okay? We are not always doing everything right, and that's okay because it gives us the space to still learn and still grow. I want you to challenge yourself to identify one skill or approach that your new manager is really good at. Then ask yourself how you might be able to incorporate that into your own career development. The second thing to do is set new boundaries without making it weird. The way you handled your relationship before is probably going to need some adjustments. The dynamic has changed, and the things that you used to vent about, that casual between us side conversation, it may not fit the same way anymore. That doesn't mean that you have to be cold. It just means that you need to establish a new level of professionalism. They're still your colleague, but now they're also responsible for your performance as well. I always say people get a little too familiar and you gotta reel some of that back in because you never know that person that you're overly familiar with today, they might actually be the person that's managing you tomorrow. To work on setting this boundary, before you share something, I want you to pause and ask yourself, would I say this to another manager? And if the answer is no, I want you to adjust accordingly. The third thing you can do to make this shift a little bit easier is to show support, even if it feels awkward. How you respond to their leadership will shape how they respond to you. Stepping in leadership is hard, and even though these folks were selected, they don't know everything. That manager is trying to get their footing, and they probably feel a lot of pressure. One of the best things you can do to make this transition smoother is show your support. Instead of thinking, let's see if they can handle this, I want you to pivot that mindset into thinking how you can be a stronger teammate here. If they introduce a new process, don't push back just because it's different. Ask questions, provide feedback, and be someone that they can lean on. Be that person that is the right hand that builds that long term respect and trust. The fourth thing that you can do to make this shift a little bit easier is not to test their authority. This is one of the fastest ways to make this transition harder, which is by resisting it. I've seen this happen before. A peer gets promoted and suddenly people start testing them. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's side comments comparing them to their old boss, or maybe it's just being less cooperative than usual. I want to remind you that these people are human. They are learning too. And if you were in their shoes, you would want grace. So I want you to give them the grace and the space to grow into their leadership role. If you catch yourself sort of thinking they're not handling this like my last manager, you might reframe it and say, what can I do to make this a more productive working relationship? The fifth thing you can do is keep communication open. You can't fix what you don't talk about. If something feels off, I want you to address it early. It doesn't have to be awkward either. It could just be a simple check-in to prevent any unnecessary tension. You might try doing this by saying, "Hey, I know this is an adjustment for the both of us, but I just want to make sure that I'm supporting you in your new role. Let me know if there's anything I should be doing differently or I can do differently." And this small moment of honesty can really make a huge difference in the dynamic of your relationship going forward. Sometimes the dynamic might be off, but you don't have to sit in that. You can have a conversation before it becomes an issue. I feel like I always save the best for last, but the sixth thing you could do is focus on your own career growth. Your peers' promotion isn't your setback. It's a reminder that growth is possible. Their promotion does not mean that you've been left behind. In fact, it could be proof that career movement is actually happening. So instead of you feeling stuck, I want you to use this moment to reflect on your own career. What skills or experiences help them get promoted? What's one area that you can strengthen so you can be ready for the next opportunity? How can you be intentional about your own career moves and really be honest with where you are and where you are trying to be? The last thing I will say is that navigating this isn't just about making it less awkward, but it's also about using it as an opportunity to learn and to adjust. The way you handle this says a lot about your own professionalism and your career potential. So if you like this video, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to go deeper, I hope you consider grabbing a copy of my book, Career Gymnastics. The link is in the description box, and we will see you on the next one.